Hello, my name is Lowell, pronouns he, him, and this is the final session of 4 for our Hearts of Wulin game using the fantastical elements, the bride with pearl nails. And we've had a little bit of a break between the previous session and this one because of schedules. So I'm going to go over the setup of things and so on. As a reminder, using a layers of safe tools, we have some things on the lines and veils tab. We have the X card in play, as well as the open door policy, just to remind you about that. I'm going to go through the NPCs very quickly that we have on the table, just to kind of reinforce like where we are, who the players are, what some of the threads are. And then I want to check in with each character about their entanglements and do a quick reminder of who they are and how to pronounce their names and their pronouns. So you are at a wedding. We have a bride, dawning joy, who clearly knows, is it Chin Li? Yeah, clearly knows Chin Li's current form and has some expectations about their current form, which Chin Li's not aware of. And clearly there's some complications there that goes on. The groom is Righteous Jade. And he seems to maybe be a little bit suspicious of this person who has an affection for Dawning Joy potentially, but we don't know. We haven't seen that much of the groom. He's kind of a less of an entity on stage. But our big figure who has been here repeatedly is Sharkfinger Princess, our spiritual threat, who has come and gone, who has appeared. There are other rival spiritual figures that we have seen. There's some indications that there's some sort of time of change. Sharkfinger Princess has a connection to Sodden Rope, but also has a connection to Perfect Cloud. And there is some connection between Sharkfinger Princess and the death, the first time they died, of our fallen general. And of course, they were also there present when Sodden Rope was thrown into the water. And there were some revelations last time. We don't have a picture on screen for Sodden Rope's parent, but we saw the parental unit last time who expressed some regrets. We have the teacher for the bride, Peerless Salon, who is definitively one of those who was involved in the death of Chin Li's previous existence as the general. So that is one of the definitive figures here. Going down on the NPC tab, we have Onyx Viper, who is a friend of Sodden Rope, maybe knows some things about Sodden Rope, but maybe also is hunting for this fallen general. So there's some questions about that. They've been a little bit off screen, but they are there. Gao Yulang is the ghost eunuch, a kind, generous, and a sophisticated person who only gives the best advice to our general. And the other ghost that's present is Vanishing Mai, who is still Heart Bow's child ghost. And there's been some stuff where the ghosts can see each other, but they're not sure about things. Captain Feng is the handsomest devil there is. He's a suave and sophisticated fellow. He is still Heart Bow's true love. He might be a little elitist and have some attitudes there. Perfect Cloud has a connection to the Sharkfinger Princess, but as was discovered last time, he seems to be the spider at the center of the web. He is pulling the strings for the various conflicts and strifes that are going on, this sense of fighting and battling one another that seems to be permeating the wedding reception here on this grand vessel. Still Heart Bow's mentor, Iron Lion. Some think that he's evil. Some think that he's not evil. That's up for debate, though he did some things that some people might consider heinous last time, like stealing the ghost advisor from Tang Lan. So the next figure is Lion Fist Killer, who is the supposedly dead mentor of Tang Lan, who is in fact not and is present here on the vessel in the shadows, also manipulating things. Ashen Twilight is a figure we've seen speak to a couple people. She is an exorcist, and she has mentioned that another exorcist has been invited, though they haven't shown up yet until late last time, if they showed up at all. That exorcist is Monarch of Stone, who has been brought to protect the wedding. Those are the major figures that are there on stage. I have probably forgotten some details and some things about that, so I hope people will help me fill in on that. Let us start with Stillheart Bow.
Oh, all right.
So, first of all, are you happy with your entanglements, your connections? Anything we should know about that?
Yeah, that's a good question. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how to saddle up and find out more about Sharkfinger Princess without making Sodden Rope sad. So I think I'll keep on working on that one.
Okay.
And then Captain Fang and I have great fondness for Captain Fang. I think that's the thing
But you also shut him down last time. He invited you to dine, and you went off with your ruffian friends.
It's true.
Very sad. Is there anything in terms of the plot details that I summarized or kind of skimmed through that you think I overlooked or didn't mention deliberately or not deliberately?
I have no idea what is deliberate in your sense. There was not anything that I thought was that I needed to absolutely bring to the table.
Okay. All right. Then let us come to Tang Lan. You have a couple of elements marked. So you've taken some harm. And are you still good with your entanglements?
I have been looking them over, and I believe that I am.
Okay. Is there anything that I left out of the description of what happened last time that you think is vital and relevant to matters?
Well, I think you didn't use the right words when you were describing the possibility of Iron Lion being a villainous sorcerer, because you didn't say, like, some people foolishly believe he is not, and others correctly believe that he is. But other than that, no other corrections.
I understand. Just a matter of shading there that I missed. I understand.
Fair enough.
Fair enough. And that brings us to Sodden Rope. Sodden Rope, how are you doing with your entanglements? Are they where you want them to be?
Yeah, I think they're fine.
Okay. And did I leave anything vital off of your details and plots?
I don't remember last session like 100%, but I thought I wanted the narrative to be that either Onyx Viper framed me for Hui Jing's murder or was the one who yeeted me off the boat.
Yes, I think we established that there were some family things that they're there, and you kind of saw that. And I think, yeah, let's you saw them amongst that crew that were involved with the death of how am I saying that, Agatha, the general's name?
Hui Xing or
Hui Xing? Okay.
Yeah.
So Onyx Viper clearly was tied to Hui Xing's death, and also with apparently the attempt to put the blame for that death that didn't go over particularly well on you, Sodden Rope. So yeah, we're going to tie that in, which brings us to Chin Li. Are you happy with your entanglements?
Let's see. My entanglement. I saved Stillheart Bell, who I desperately love. Captain Fang took it. Yeah, huh? I have to keep my ambitions for revenge against Starfinger Princess hidden from my sworn friend. I feel like did I reveal that already last time? That
I think there was a moment of revel. I think Sod and Rope, are you pretty aware, you think, of the general's desire for revenge?
Yeah, that's why I changed my entanglement, because it's like my bro is so mad.
okay. So I feel like my general one is actually like something about Sharibo's dad, who I got to kill.
I think that's enough. I think we have that right there.
And it was for murder.
Yes. So, who do we know was involved with the general's death? We know that Sod and Rope's father and some of those family members. We can, by connection, know that Onyx Viper knew something about that and is connected to that. We know that the Peerless Zalan is definitely in there. And there may be some others, but those are some of the figures that are certainly on the table from that. Did anybody get an advance last time that I should know about? Sod and Rope, what did you take?
I took the move from an unused book, Eternal Love. When you remember a past life connection to someone, describe it and take +1 forward in dealing with them. When you reveal that connection to them, roll on a hit, choose one.
Okay, that's a good one. And then Sherry, you took something, or going to take something?
I have one. I helpfully wrote down for myself anything I want. So,
okay.
So I better kind of narrow that down a little bit.
Just a bit. And I know last time we've got the interception of love letters, and we've got the behaving hostile for Chin Li. All right. So we've kind of moved time forward a little bit. We're later in the day. This is the last evening before the wedding, which is to take place the next day. There were conversations, some revelations with one another about what was going on. But I think I'd like to like pair up the characters right now to, or at least check in to see what they're doing before we kind of get to that. So, Stillheart Bow, what is it that you want right now? What is foremost in your mind?
That's a good question. I think I have been trying to find Sharkfinger Princess. People keep seeing her, and I never do. It is like by the time I appear on the scene, they have fled. So I think that is what I want.
Let's hope this is not a Clark Kent Superman thing.
I don't even know what that means.
So okay.
I would not suspect it. The world is simpler than it looks.
But you want to try to find Sharkfinger Princess. Tang Lan, given what you know, given what is on the table, what is it that you want?
I want to know where this exorcist is.
Okay.
The fancy one that's going to show up.
The fancy one that's going to show up, because I think they're the key to all of this somehow. And so I'm going to go first. There's like I prepare myself to meet them, and then I sort of wander around kind of asking people if they've seen them.
Okay. Sod and Rope, what is it that you want with all the revelations that happened last time? What is top of mind for you?
I want to help Huijing find peace. If that peace involves being splattered in blood, that's fine by me.
So you wanted to track them down and speak with them. And Chin Li, what is it that you want right now? What is it that you want to do? You were stopped last time just because it was such a public spectacle from attacking
The bride's
Peerless Salon.
mom, right?
Yeah, bride's teacher. Yeah.
Oh, teacher. Okay. Okay. Yeah. I need to exact revenge.
Okay. Absolutely. So let's do Stillheart Bao's investigation, Tang Lan's investigation. We'll do those study roles, and then let's bring Sodden Rope and Chin Li sort of into collision so we can see what that looks like. Stillheart Bao, what do you do to find Sharkfinger Princess? Now you are a cursed outsider.
Mm-hmm.
You have some magical connection. What is it that you are doing to find the princess?
To find the princess. I think like these are those really, really big ships, right?
Huge.
Yeah. So they have like the high decks and the low decks, right? So I think I moved to the low decks and I think what I'm going to do is kind of go to the low deck and I'm going to go to the trailing side, so to the back of the ship to watch. I'm going to take my flute with me. And essentially, I'm just watching for something that breaks the current and that sort of thing, if that makes any sense.
What do you want to roll that with?
That's a fine question. I think water.
Okay.
Because I'm watching water, yes?
Fair enough. And why don't you go ahead and roll? And since it's a study move, we know that you'll fail.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Usually terrifically horribly. So I'm rolling 2d6, I'm adding 1.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I got a 9. It is not a horrible fail.
So
unprecedented in my Hearts of Wulin history.
So you have one hold, which you can use to ask a question or make a declaration.
Make a declaration. She's following the boat. She's far back in the wake. And for all practical purposes, it appears more that the boat is dragging her than that she's following the boat.
Okay. So you will see that. You will see that in the waters. See that figure there. What do you do?
I think that Maya and I will look to see if we can see what is tethering her to it.
I think there are strings of power and fate that you saw last time that are tying her to this.
Okay. I think that I have Airy Moon and Evil Star. I think that I will sort of, what do you say? I'll have Mai reach down and sort of tug at the threads, just so that the princess knows that we've seen them.
Mm-hmm.
But then the two of us will sort of turn, and we're going to follow the threads back to who is holding them.
Okay.
Because no one tells me anything.
Fair enough. Tang Lan, you are asking around, trying to find out where this exorcist is.
So you see Tang Lan kind of lurking and eavesdropping, and like she keeps going up to people and like starts a conversation, and then just like suddenly abruptly turns it to like, have you seen The Exorcist? and it's just very awkward.
So what do you want to roll that study roll with?
I'm going to roll it with water.
Okay.
It's 2 dice, right?
2 dice plus 2.
9.
It's 9. So you have one hold to ask a question or make a declaration.
I have my question is, where is this exorcist?
And keep asking people, and they kind of look, and I think it's that last person that like goes, oh, and gestures over, and I think the camera turns, and you'll see the crowd part, and you will see this figure walking. He has a fan. He has like over his back, he has a kind of a wicker cage, and you can see that it is covered in silk and that there are butterflies inside the cage. And he walks with a certain grace forward, and maybe he's caught some word that you are looking for him, and he will approach you, and he will say, "My ears are burning.
I have heard such stories of you, and everyone has been so excited that you were coming. I'm so delighted that you are here."
And who are you?
Oh, I'm just a humble monster hunter. My name is Tang Lan.
Tang Lan, I've heard of you.
Tang Lan, you see Tang Lan's eyes get really wide, and
You seem to be agitated. Why is it that you are in this state? Why is it that you are looking for me?
oh, there have been such things happening. Oh, and I begin to relate kind of like the ghosts and the kind of the noises and then people jumping in the water, and it's a kind of I'm going to deliberately sort of make it seem more confused than I actually am.
So what do you think is at the heart of this, Tang Lan?
I think there is some evil sorcerer lurking about.
Interesting. And do you have a suspicion as to who that sorcerer is?
I want to see who you think before I reveal my suspicions, because they may be dreadfully wrong, and I don't want to cause dissension. But I'm sure that with your acumen and expertise, you will instantly get to the heart of the matter.
Let me ask you this. Have you seen anyone present who seems to be acting out of the ordinary from what you would expect of them?
Someone took my ghost.
That wasn't exactly what I asked, but that is it.
I think that's an extraordinary thing, don't you? Out of the ordinary?
I meant unusual from their normal personality.
So you're asking whether their personality is normally the sort of person that goes about stealing ghosts? I don't know. It's the first time I've seen them do it.
Who is it that has stolen your ghost.
Unfortunately, it is the same person I believe to be the sorcerer, so I cannot tell you yet.
I see. Well, I fear that beyond this evil sorcerer, there is someone here who is possessed.
Oh, dear.
By an evil spirit, by a spirit of vengeance.
Oh, my goodness.
Have you seen anyone that you would suspect?
Of being possessed by an evil spirit of vengeance?
Yes.
No.
All right. Well, I will look about and see if I can find any traces of this evil sorcerer of whom you spoke. And perhaps once I have a suspicion, if I am to develop one, you and I will speak, confer.
Indeed. Absolutely.
It was good to make your acquaintance.
I will bow 1,000 times. And then I'm going to, after he moves off, I am going to just kind of cautiously trail him as he moves through the crowd.
Okay. We'll come back to that. Sodden Rope, your father, as I recall, was injured, but is still alive. And you have set him someplace to rest and recover. And now you've gone out to find Chinli. Where do you think you cross paths? Is it in a crowded area? Is it in a private area? Where would you like that scene to take place?
Yeah, I spooked my dad. I shark spooked my dad.
Yes, you did.
The
gripping of the heart, the passing out. He is lying feverishly sleeping.
I will. Shinli, where do you want to be right now?
I don't know. I mean, I would hopefully be where one of my targets are.
Okay.
So in that case, you've put your father down, you've come out of the rooms in this private area, and I mean, you step out and there is Chinli.
And I am staring at names. The teacher of the bride.
So you think this is well, she is do you want this conversation to be a little bit present, quiet? This is where Sodden Rope has put down her father to recover.
Okay, sure.
Who is one of your targets? So I suspect that you have a little more privacy than that.
Okay. Yeah. I'm looking at you like, are you going to bar my way? To your father.
Is this how you want to do this?
What do you mean?
I mean, he can't defend himself.
Are you speaking to me about honor right now?
Fair enough. Who else is on your list? I can't be here when it happens.
I think so far I only know of two, right? I know of
you know there are
Peerless.
others, but the persons that you've marked are the father and Peerless Salon, but you know that there's some others that are present.
Okay. Peerless Salon.
I'll go look for them then.
And like before you walk away, I'm gonna hold out a hand to like stop you. You can fulfill your filial duty. What is your weapon?
A meteor hammer.
And I look over at your hammer and kind of like drop. I think I'm like shouldering my my spear in a way where it's like I'm ready to fight. Like it hasn't dropped into my hand for me to fight yet, but
Let's just make this quick. I think, okay, so she takes her hammer out the rest of her meteor hammer from out of her sleeve, and the chains just clank to the floor. There's no pomp and circumstance water effects this time.
yeah. And I also drop the spear into my hand. And
that's the point at which, Xinli, I want you to roll that inner conflict as your friend draws their weapon out, as the spear reaches your hand, as you realize what is going to happen here.
Yeah, for real, for real. Where's dice roll with me? Okay.
What do you want to roll inner conflict with?
Okay, what do I have that is unchecked? I have metal and water. Water.
Okay.
For wisdom.
Let's
I'm
have you roll.
struggling for wisdom. Okay. Roll. Okay. Oh, roll a 9 plus 1 is a 10.
That's 10. You keep yourself together.
Yeah. The moment the spear like drops into my hand, you can see like there's just like that little bit of like particle effect. Where it's like the weight of it. And then like I look up and then you see the determination in my eyes.
So Xiao Yubo, this is player versus player. This is that moment here. Now, you can make an offer to Qin Li, like what you will give if Agatha will let you win. But you can also say I lose. That's also and offer that if Agatha will let you narrate the loss. And you can offer XP, you can offer a change of entanglements, you can offer something in the future. What is it that you would like? Like, how do you picture this going down?
I absolutely positively lose.
Okay. Are you cool with that, Agatha? Then Sodden Rope, narrate what you look like at the start of the fight. Then we'll let Qin Li narrate a bit, and then you can tell us how that ends. And a corridor is wider than it should be. It's wide enough that we can have a fight scene in it. There's no one else around. There are probably some lanterns to light this place, but otherwise you've got room here. So how does that start out? How does the fight begin?
I think it begins, well, usually I see when she's like in go mode, when she's like actually fighting. She treats it more like a dart rope and does a lot more flashy, like change of direction things and whatnot. But this time there's like I said before, there's no Weeping Lotus CGI, there's no pomp and circumstance. She's just like deliberate, only moves the chain and the weighted end deliberately when she needs to, but other than that there's no flash. This is just purely self-defense.
Yeah, we see that change in energy from you, and Chinli, you'll recognize that. What do we see? How is it that you fight?
I think it's a very weighty sort of like everything. It probably looks a little similar for both of us in that every move is heavy in that it doesn't have our usual flashiness, but also heavy, like because it reflects our hearts. But like I do think it's like like each like I don't strike you with the pointy part of my spear, of course, but like when it hits you, you really get that like thud.
Xiao Yubo, this fight goes back and forth, defensive, no one. But how does it end? Is it with a blow? Is it with your father coming out? Is it some other change? What do we see here?
Having the dad come out, this sounds dramatic, but the thing I definitely want to happen is that usually when the weighted end gets lodged in anything, she's easily able to yank it out and go back into the chain rotation. But for some reason she can't get, even no matter how big the corridor is, suddenly it gets lodged and she cannot dislodge it. So she is completely vulnerable.
Gets stuck. You're pulling on that, and then Chinli, how do you end that?
Oh, I thought that Xiao would be narrating how it ends.
Yeah, how do you want this sudden rope? You've got yourself lodged in there. Like, do you surrender? Do you are you waiting for a blow? Like, how do you imagine that is going to finish here?
I think she drops her chains to the ground and just walks past Chinli and says, "You'll know where to find me because I'll find her." And she just walks like shoulders touching past Chinli.
that shot, that classic wuxia shot of one person walking to the camera, the other person walking. We do that back and forth flip as you walk away, and Chinli, you're left there, and we see the door. And we will cut away from there at that point. Still Heart Bow. Where do we find you? Do you want to intersect with an NPC, with a PC, something else? You are muted.
Following those lines of power, right?
Okay.
So I think the only thing that would take me off of that thing is if there was something dangerous up ahead. I like the idea that I'm actually moving through the boat and Mai stops me and tries to get me to go back. And I can see in the distance Tang Lan talking to that exorcist.
Yeah, absolutely. She kind of grabs onto your sleeve and pulls back and looks afraid.
Okay.
What do you do?
I think I do what I always do when she's afraid, and I pick her up like I'm holding her like a little child. So again, you often see him and he has his arm out at his side and he just holds it in front of him as sort of strange thing that he has to other people, and he will sort of veer around, but I think he'll try to catch Tanglan's eyes and like indicate to meet him off over on the side.
Yeah. Tanglan, you kind of after this conversation, you're kind of following in the wake of this exorcist. Out of the corner of your eye, you see Still Heart Bow, and they're doing this like come here gesture.
What? And like finally I go, oh, and it kind of just sort of like follow.
Okay. And I sort of stop and I go, who are you with?
That's the exorcist.
Oh, no wonder. And I go, they don't like ghosts.
The exorcist doesn't like ghosts?
What do you think they exorcise?
Demons? Well, and ghosts sometimes, and monsters, and like, like octopus things, but yeah. No, they don't like ghosts, but it's more like they're trying to do right by the ghosts, I think.
Well, I don't think the ghosts feel that way.
Sure they do. They go to wherever they're supposed to go. And then they know that they are where they are supposed to go. And they revel in their, I am here in my rightful place.
So your ghost isn't afraid of the exorcist?
I'm very unhappy that my ghost has been removed from me. Although I will confess, I do have somewhat mixed feelings, but I feel like the ghost was removed against the ghosts. I think that was a very odd and unnatural and sideways move. It was against the natural way ghosts are supposed to go. She was removed. Just plucked away like a flower, just like
Mai looks worried. There's like well, do you know who did it?
An evil sorcerer.
Well, I'm seeking someone who has clearly bound the Shark Princess to them. I bet it's the same person.
Why do you think it's the same person?
Well, they're evil, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you know how sometimes in life one can be walking down into the market and you see a delicious meat pie seller, or the seller of delicious meat pies, rather.
I like meat pies, certainly.
You buy a delicious meat pie. At least you think it's going to be delicious meat pie. It's going to be a good meat pie. And then you bite into it and it's spoiled because it was sitting in the sun and is actually a sort of bad, or one might even say evil meat pie that you had
never had that happen.
Was very good.
Have you had that happen? It sounds terrible. Do you need to sit
it was
down?
Terrible. But I still have about, I have to tell you, I have to tell you, it's I believe that the person that took my ghost was, and I have forgotten their name. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I should have looked this up. Oh my God, now I've lost that whole spreadsheet. I want to say Iron Fist. It's not
Iron Lion.
Iron Lion. All right.
Then there's Iron Fist Killer as a separate person. So Iron Lion. No.
Yes.
Are you sure?
I am so sure. I made the heavens strike me down right now if I am unsure.
Well, that's very strange. he certainly never threatened Mai in any way. Let's go have a chat with him. We'll find out what's going on.
Wouldn't you rather go meet the exorcist?
No.
Oh, very well. I will. Okay. And so we will go and look for Iron Lion.
Okay.
The evil spoiled.
Wait, and then I stop and go, wait, what? Yeah, we're just going to take care of this and then we'll get back to finding the evil sorcerer. Okay.
Okay. And Tanlan will just sort of trail in Stillheart Bow's
And then you
behind.
realize that that Stillheart Bow is trying to follow you because he thinks you know where Iron Lion is.
And we'll have a moment where the two of us try to follow each other.
Yeah.
And then finally I stop and say, I don't know where he is. Do you?
No. But he's all I know is where the evil sorcerer is. Well, let's go there, take care of that, and then we'll go find her. Yes, let's go do that.
That's an
all right.
place.
Sounds great.
So the two of you will head to kind of follow these lines of power. Is that why I understand it there?
That is what we are doing.
We will come back to you. Sodden Rope, you've walked away from this conflict. You've left your weapon behind, one of your weapons behind, and you've headed out. Where is it you go? What do you do?
I go looking for the teacher of the bride.
Okay. Let's have you roll a study roll here. Let's give you a chance to make a declaration, perhaps.
Cool. Oops. What am I rolling with? Rolling with water. So +1. I got a, wait. Where's my, I got a 8.
8. So you have one hold.
Okay.
You can ask a question or you can make a declaration.
I want to ask if the teacher of the bride is out of the general's league or not.
Is she a higher scale?
Mm-hmm. That's what, yes.
Mechanics. That's an interesting question here. I think that you can sense that normally she might be outside your scale, like above your scale, but there's some weird things going on here. There's some strangeness with the spirit of the Sharkfinger Princess and these forces of vengeance and stuff. And you think, like, you study and you think I might be able to take her down. And she doesn't know you from Adam. So, I mean, you can certainly wait and catch her while she is by herself.
Time for a shark hunt.
Do you want to do that?
Well, I at least want to make sure I don't lose sight of her because I want,
So you are following, kind of keeping an eye on her. Let me look here real quick. I think that you will see her go and speak to some people. She has conversation with the bride. She talks with some other people. You will see, though, at sort of the end, she speaks with a person you don't recognize. They're kind of in the shadows. They have a hood pulled up in that classic way where we're not going to get to see who they are on camera quite yet. But you see them have a conversation, and you can see that at the end of it, Zalan does not look happy with the results of that conversation. But she kind of bows her head and moves off. And you can follow and keep her in sight if you wish.
Mm-hmm. Can I say I like leave like a Hansel and Gretel trail of shark teeth for Chinli to follow?
Oh, I like that. Yeah. Chinli, let me ask you a question. Do you want to do the scene in the room, or do we cut to you leaving the room?
I think we can just cut to me leaving the room.
Okay.
With like a very like aesthetic blood splatter on like half of my face.
And what do you do then?
I do think I need to rely on Unit Gao to look for the next target for me.
And you start walking in. He says, may I make a suggestion? General.
I'm like still walking, but I look over, I glance over at him like I'm listening.
And he does this, and he points to these, like a shark tooth on the ground.
And then I like look up, like I look at that one, and then as I like look up, I just see this like trail of shark teeth.
I think your friend may be attempting to send you a message, or perhaps this is a trap.
I'll follow the shark teeth.
And the two of you will head upstairs. Let's take our first break here, and then we will come back and have some confrontations. So we'll take 10 for the first break, and then we'll come back. Still hard bow, Tang Lan. You two are following the threads, following the cables along, and I think you'll find yourselves going down the decks. And again, an absurdly large ship, an absurdly large vessel. It's definitely CG. We couldn't have afforded to build a practical set this large. We see it from the outside, but we've got beautiful sets on the interiors. And we'll see you move through until we get to, in that same way that the ship's lower decks are, it's slightly more dimly lit, as if that's actually how they would work. And we see you kind of following it, and you can tell you're not like at the end of these threads, but Bao, you will come out into a room where you can feel they knot and tie up before they head on, like a nexus point. And as you and Tang Lan kind of come in, perhaps a little cautious, a little wary here, you will see a lantern brighten, and you will see two figures, and one of them steps forward, and you will see Iron Lion, and the other figure kind of remains back, and he says, "Still heart bow."
Master, how are you?
I am very well now that you were here.
And I'll nod towards the kind of ball of the power, like assuming that he sees them, indicating that I do as well. Are you untangling this mess?
In a way, yes.
He sort of stops and says, "Who is it? What is it? What are they up to?"
There are those who are empty vessels and filled vessels who have been drawn here to be empowered by a certain force of vengeance, or force of anger, to make something greater, to empower something that had reached its nadir almost, but was struck down, and now is going to rise again.
And Bao kind of stops, thinking that through. So evil.
I love that you can hear the motorcycles on both our mics here going by. He says, you are here, Stillheart, because you are useful in this.
How so?
He says, you are becoming something else. You are on your way to becoming something greater, and that makes you a useful conduit and a useful resource.
See, those are not words that are all reassuring to me.
I don't believe that you have met my brother. And he gestures. So Tang Lan knows Lion Fist Killer. And you will see this figure step out of the shadows.
I turned to Tang Lan. Meat pie?
Tang Lan's just agape at the moment. just like jaw has dropped and is just absolutely.
I apologize for the deception, my student Tang Lan.
Oh?
There were things that were happening, and unfortunately, my bride had found out some things, and it was necessary that that a deception occur.
So your bride, yes, your bride. And you can see just like 1,000 expressions kind of flit over Tang Lan's face. And then you just see her kind of decide, clearly just be like, okay, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. And she just sort of shuts her jaw with a click.
And I think that at this point, it's where I sort of shift the way I'm holding her just a little bit, actually to the other side. Of my thing, so that I'd be using my stronger arm.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, well, I think I know where this is going. And I think I step in front of Tang Lan and I'll say, I'll take your mentor if you take mine.
Fair enough, I say.
And that's my first attempt to try to even the scale.
Okay.
So
we will come back to that
Okay.
conflict here in just a moment. Zhao Yubo, Sodden Rope, you are there. You followed behind, gosh, names. There we go. So bad. Behind Peerless Zilan. And she's up. She's gone up to the railing, up. The moonlight's kind of coming down. We're in a secluded area. In the distance, we can probably see the lanterns and hear the laughter and so on. And she is standing there. You're kind of watching. And I think then sodden rope, you'll kind of realize that there is somebody coming. And you look back and you will see Chin Li coming.
And you see the blood splatter on my face.
What do you do, Sodden Rope? What do you say?
Did he say anything?
And I will actually, oh my gosh. Your father. I'm going to like take your hand and then like place like probably like a jade Buddha or something in it. And then just like close your hand around it and step back.
She looks at it and tucks it into her sleeve of holding. There's your next mark.
I step forward and approach this lady.
And your footsteps echo, and I think that Peerless Alon will stand up straight and turn around and looks at you and says, "General."
Yeah, I'm gonna fight.
Okay.
I'm just gonna drop the spear in my hand and go straight for her throat.
Okay. Blades come out. Zhao Yubo. What are you doing as they kind of get ready to that stance that they are about to throw down?
I realized I should have asked, did you bring my weapon? Because I realized she does not have it anymore. Look. I mean, this happened during war times. I imagine this is going to be like this scene where she's there to tap in when need be.
And I think that need be is when you see another figure come out of the shadows to go at and perhaps catch Chin Li while his focus is on this, and you will see Onyx Viper emerges, blade out, clearly intended to strike. What do you do?
Shark mode.
So you're gonna move to intercept.
Yes.
And she will draw back, and you see her finally look and maybe kind of put two and two together about who you are. And she will say, "Xiao Yubo." But you're supposed to be. And she'll turn to face you. We've got the two opponents locked in there. Still heart bow, Tang Lan. So Bao, you're going to go after the Lion Fist Killer, is my understanding, right? So tell me what that's going to look like. You will see him. He drops into a stance, and out of his sleeves come these metal gloves on his hands with these claws on the back of them, and they've got those kind of plates for blocking on them, and he stands ready. So what is that going to look like? Before we get to any roll, I want to have you describe to me what that looks like for your attack here. You're muted.
I think essentially you see he's shifted and there's that thing of like the camera does it where you can see him shifting the little ghost girl, but then there's another shot of him from an angle, and of course she's not there, that sort of thing. And he sort of, it's in that thing when he sort of leans his face over and kind of like, you can tell, maybe gives her a kiss on the forehead and tells her it'll be okay. And he's not even looking at Iron Fist Killer when he draws his blade. It's that sort of thing of, he's making that sort of reassurance to Mai, and then his blade is forward. And it is weird because he usually fights with the other hand, so it is something you haven't seen previously.
Move and engage. That'll be that first pass of blows. Tanglon, at the same time, what do we see of you?
So you see Tanglon kind of straighten up, and she seemed like a little kind of ditzy before, but suddenly you see a lot of that drop away, and suddenly the serious monster hunter comes out, and she grabs her little sticks off her back, and they actually spin in her hands in a kind of improbably fast manner, and kind of make a noise, even whirring noise as it's going. And she just kind of readies herself with the two sticks, and you can see ready to begin the emphatic hail.
And I think you'll see Iron Lion kind of look at those clubs, and you'll see him reach back, and he pulls this enormous single iron club spiked off his back, and he will brace that in his hands. He swings it around in a kind of a circle once or twice, and then steps forward to have the two of you match. Sodden Rope. Onyx Viper moves to engage. Double blades, those kind of short blades that she has, moving in. Wicked gleaming edge. What do we see of you? As you don't have your weapon with you, what are you going to do?
She'll just have to settle for hand-to-hand combat.
Okay. Like what does your stance look like? Like, this is very different from the Meteor Hammer. So how do we see you change your combat approach?
I think like usually when she's using the Meteor Hammer, it's all about keeping everyone out of inside range. Mm-hmm. But since she doesn't have that, she's very close range. Like there are a couple of times where I see like Onyx Viper going in to slice her, and she'll literally like bite the blade just to stop her, to keep it from moving.
Nice. Moving, kind of getting in under that guard, biting, knocking her back. Hui Sheng, what do we see, Chin Li? What do we see of you? We definitely see that Peerless Elan draws, the classic saber out, long straight blade, and moves with a speed and grace that belies her years, certainly experienced. What do we see of your sort of martial spear style against that?
I feel like before we went for each other, there's definitely a moment where we're half circling each other, mm-hmm. sizing each other down. And then she comes for me, and she's fast. And I think it actually looks like this is not very advantageous for me because it's tight quarters. She's fast. My weapon is big. And so I think in the beginning, it's actually a lot of me blocking, blocking her blows. And I think I'm like backing up until it gets to a point where it's like my back is against the wall. And then that's when there's this like grin that just ghosts my face, and I like whack out with the other end of the spear. And my attempt is to pin her against the wall.
Okay, so you're moving to kind of catch her clothing, spears moving to trap her, to contain, kind of box her in on that. Come back, still heart bow. Let us have you roll duel. This figure, for whatever reason, is on your scale.
Seems odd, but in some ways, I'll go with it. It is weird in here with all these tangles of power. So we're going to roll 2d6. I'm going to add my style element, which is a +2.
Yeah, and you
rolled
have
a
all
10,
okay.
So that's a 12 total.
So tell me what that looks like when he's shocked that you're able to get in under his guard, like get at him. What does that look like? What's the blow that you strike here?
I think that the thing that you see is Stilgar seems so nice and so pleasant most of the time, but when he's actually fighting something that's a threat, he's horrible. He comes in and like essentially Iron Fist Killer is using his claws. He comes in and like, he has the long blade. He stabs him in the one foot and, it goes forward. And then he comes back around and does a slice across the back of his shoulder and then comes around. I mean, he's circling this guy, staying out of his reach, and just, it's not like one easy hit. It's like a couple of circles where he's wounded this guy until he can't move fast at all. And he just kind of slices his blade then across his throat as he goes by the one time.
And I think there's that step, and he kind of grabs at his throat, and you'll see him fall, and you will feel a release of energy, of magic, of power as he hits the ground.
Where's it going?
We'll come back to that in a moment.
Oh, great. Thanks.
Tanglan, Iron Lion, he like this is the guy who has always gotten between you and Stillheart Bow. So angry. He is swinging that around. Of course, he hits a pillar, shatters a pillar, wood splinters go flying. You're smacking back. Let's have you roll. What is your style element again?
I'm going to use, or what is my style element?
It is water, I believe.
It is water, which is checked right now.
Ooh. So, because this has been a while, we should probably have Stillheart Bow do a comfort and support action before this starts.
Yes.
To clear that. Otherwise, you cannot fight them directly.
Yes.
So
I would hope Stillheart Bow would be agreeable to that.
Yes, I think on the way there we would have stopped to get meat pies.
That's it.
But not evil meat pies.
Not evil meat pies.
I would have been reassuring you that most meat pies are not evil meat pies.
All right.
So Bow, go ahead and roll your comfort and support.
Okay, I'm rolling it, adding 1.
Okay.
And I rolled a 9, so that's a 10.
Okay. So Tanglan, you may clear your water.
Thank you.
And Bow, you may take a bond.
Okay. Good. Awesome.
So go ahead and roll with water.
2 + 2 is 4.
That is a 4. I don't think you have enough bonds to bring that up. I think that you see Iron Lion, you see him go, and he knocks you back with this club, and we'll see him raise it up to swing at you, and you'll hear this shattering, and you'll see, like, off to the side there's a table with some things on it, and you'll see this vessel shatter, and you'll see this spirit, and you'll see the spirit of your mentor's wife, the ghost that has been with you, flies in front of you and takes that blow.
Oh
and
my
you
God.
see her shattered, and she's destroyed.
I shout, no.
Mark an element. You can mark any element of your choice. You don't have to mark water, but right now you've kind of been knocked back.
Okay.
Your ghost has sacrificed herself. You have lost her forever.
All right.
We will
All right.
we will return back to that scene in just a moment. Xiao Yubo, Sodden Rope, let us have you roll with your style element.
Okay. Dang. Altogether I have a 5, and I don't think I have any bonds left. So yeah.
So tell me, what does she hit? What does she cripple on you for the moment? Like she gets a strike in. Is it a hand? Is it an arm? Is it an ear? Like, what is it that she gets? What it seems like is going to be a decisive blow.
I think like around her like shoulder words.
Like the collarbone?
Yeah, collarbone. That was
okay.
One. Yeah.
All right. So she drives that blade in there, and you'll feel it go through, and you'll feel that arm go absolutely numb. And when she pulls it out, there's blood everywhere. And I think you see red. There's enough of that shark finger princess in you that now there's so much blood here. Go ahead and mark an element. And in the fiction, one of your arms is useless, and you are bleeding. Does that seem fair?
Mm-hmm.
And she will move forward, and she says, you should have just stayed in the water. Chin Li, you are moving in on this figure. She is trying to adapt to your style. She's trying to balance out. Let's have you roll.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Nice.
That. Yeah.
Oh, no, boxcars.
Whoa.
What does that look like? Like, what is the blow that you land there?
Oh my gosh. I feel like what happens is like, yeah, I swing around and basically like switch our positions, and using my spear, basically like just like stick in front of me. I think she blocks it with her saber, and then it just like pushes all the way back, like until the what is it? The handle, the stick part of the spear is like pressing against her neck.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And then and I keep shoving until we like break through the wall behind her.
Crashing through.
Yeah. And then like it's like, and then we land probably on a table so that I can like fully pin her down. And it's like my eyes are completely black, and it's like those weird black veins are just like completely stretching across my face now, coming from my eyes. And I open my mouth, and it's like a weird ghostly like breath comes out, as well as I'm just like asking why.
We had to. There were other forces at work. You were a sacrifice.
And I like rear back and like just like shriek, and it sounds like weird and otherworldly. And then as I rear back, I like pull the spear up and I just like stab her in the gut.
Shoot right through. Shoot, grab it. That goes through. We see the shot of the spear coming out the bottom of the table that you pinned her to for that. And, her eyes will go black in that moment. And you'll feel just this release of energy as your vengeance on this person is complete. And I don't think you even notice that Sodden Rope is as badly injured as she is, right?
No.
Okay. We will come back to that. Still heart bow. You turn and you see like her face get like white and panicked as this ghost gets destroyed by your mentor. And you will see that seems to have empowered Iron Lion. Like he seems stronger now, and Tang Lan has fallen back. What do you do, Bao? You are muted.
So his brother has started to crumple. And I think the first thing I do is I shove him as he's falling over onto my mentor. Okay. Just the first salvo is his dead brother.
Okay.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah. So this is you're going to try and do this to even the scale.
Yeah, to distract. Yeah.
So that's an overcome.
Okay. Let's see here. And I think I think this is just water again. We're surrounded by it. And this is just kind of, let's even these odds. So I'm rolling and then adding 1 to the result.
Absolutely.
So it's an 8.
That is an 8. I think that he sees that coming and swings out, but the body hits him. Mark an element.
Okay.
As you're struck by a glancing blow from his giant club that you've seen him swing numerous times. But he is knocked backwards and he is off balance. Tang Lan, Stellar Bao has given you an opening.
I will leap forward and try again to emphatically hail him.
Let's have you roll.
If I shake these dice enough, then they will roll
maybe.
Super well. Does an 8 plus 2 a 10?
A 10. So what is it? The body knocks into him. He struck your friend. How do you take advantage of that moment?
I leap forward, and you see the quick little blows. And I basically start on one wrist and go like across his head, and then down the other arm.
Bone shattering, striking. There'll be that shake of the body. He'll stagger back. There's that moment when he realizes that he's about to die, when he looks at you and maybe reaches out. And then he crumples and falls in a heap with his brother. And you'll feel that kind of release of energy there as he drops to the ground.
Awesome.
And I think still heart value, you'll see that energy travel up those lines of fate.
Yeah, that's where we're going.
Yeah, almost like when they hit that, it's like someone's put a match to it as they kind of catch fire, and the energy runs up those lines. We'll come back.
No idea who this is heading towards.
We'll come back to that in a moment. Xiao Yubo, what do you do? You are muted.
My arm's so good. I'm going to let her attack me because I want her in close.
You want to try and draw her in? Okay. So what is your goal here? Like do we is this another duel, or is this an overcome, or is this something else?
I want a bad guy confession out of her, because she's, I mean, if I'm bleeding this much, she obviously probably thinks she has the upper hand, which means a villain monologue is sure to follow.
Okay. I think that I want you to roll hearts and minds.
Okay. Gonna roll with metal. I got a 10.
And she kind of stands, kind of gets in close, stands over you, and she says, all of the promises, all of the fates, they told me it was you who stole my fate, my fortune, that you were the one, that you were this vessel. I could see it now, this power that was gifted to you that you did not deserve. This should have been rightly mine. Should have been mine. And here you are, but now you are bleeding out. And I am the one who is standing here alive. She puts her foot on your wound, kind of drives that heel in there. She says, where is your shark-fingered princess now? What do you do? Or should I check in with Chin Li?
Check in with Chin Li.
Okay, she's pushing, she's doing that, grinding on that. She's reveling in that. Chin Li, do you notice what's going on?
I think this is an interesting thing. Excuse me. So there's this like release of magic, of energy of some sort. I'm just wondering, like, does that affect me? Oh, wait.
I think you feel like that vengeance that you had, that was that anger. Some of it is taken away by this. Like something is eating your anger and your vengeance. The expression of that is empowering something somewhere else.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah. I can declare a shift in the fiction before, right?
Yeah.
I think then I think the weird energy that's been radiating off of me, the grudge, I think it actually affects the Viper lady. What is it?
Onyx Viper?
Yeah, Onyx Viper.
How? Like what happens there?
I feel like it kind of like it eats away at her sanity. So she's like not being very rational and probably will not notice if I like come over.
So I think you that does, and you can turn around and you'll see this figure ranting at Sodden Rope, inflicting pain. You can see that Sodden Rope's outfit is now red with blood on that side of her body. What do you do?
I am just gonna hit the back of her neck.
Okay. Do we want to read this as duel, or are you just trying to get her off of Sodden Rope?
No, I plan on knocking her out. So
okay.
Is that duel or?
It's duel because you can choose to show mercy.
Oh, right.
So right now her scale is on level with you because she is distracted with this rage of vengeance here.
Okay, then I'm gonna do that. Okay, that's a 9.
That is a 9. So you can win at a cost, or if you want to burn a bond, you can take that to a 10.
I feel like it might be interesting to win at a cost. But I guess this is the last session. I might as well
burn your bonds.
I guess so. Yeah. I'll burn my bond.
Are you showing mercy?
I think I am.
Okay. So there's that cook. The butt of the spear comes with a hefty crack, catches her, and she will drop to the ground unconscious. Sodden Rope, she is there, helpless at your feet. What do you do? You're muted.
I take her weapons, plural, and I break their blades with my teeth and just drop them carelessly to the ground. Yeah.
And they shatter with your bite, and you throw them to the ground there. Chinli, are your eyes still black?
I think they're like sort of still black. They're a little bit less dark compared to before, but I think it's still there.
Sodden Rope, what do you say to Chinli?
Is there anyone left?
I think I stop for a second and just look at that bleeding wound. And I'll like, what am I even wearing? I guess I have a scarf. Whoa. I guess I'll take off my scarf. And wrap Xiaoyubo's wound.
Let's have you roll comfort and support.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you move up from this moment of violence to suddenly the scarf is out and you are tying the wound shut.
Yeah, and I'm rolling with water.
Okay.
Awareness. Ooh, that's an 11.
So, Xiaoyubo, you may clear an element. Chinli, you may clear an element as well, or you may take a bond.
I'll take a bond.
Okay.
with my friend.
Yay!
Let's cut back to Tang Lan and Stillheart Bao here in the bowels of the ship.
Sort of turn and go, oh, and I said, can you see the lines of power?
Yes.
And I kind of go, there's a whole bunch of fools who've bought into this promise of power.
Yes.
And then we got to keep them from dying. It's like the whole boat is involved in this. Let's just follow them and see if we can get to the person at the end. If we can stop them somehow, maybe we can. And he sort of stops and goes, but could we use anyone? I don't know.
Okay.
I should have studied more. Curses. And he strides onward, following the threads.
And I think there is a montage here of you moving through the ship. And I think you'll pass through rooms where you will see fights have broken up, old recriminations, anger, shipmates that their old feuds have broken out. Then up a level, a family battle. Squabble has turned bloody. We can see that you're moving through this kind of nightmarish thing where everyone is being possessed and driven by hatred and anger and vengeance, and that is the landscape that the two of you are moving through.
I turn back to Tang Lan. I go, what can we do to stop this? Like, there's a whole bunch of musicians here, right?
There are a bunch of musicians here.
What we need is something to distract from all of this anger and fury.
So you want me to sing a comic song?
I was thinking maybe professional musicians, but you know.
Very well.
But that might give people pause. So go ahead. I'll slap you on the shoulder. But I think
okay. We'll sort of look around and sort of hesitantly at first begin a childhood comic song about two monks drinking. Actually, it's probably not childhood. Yeah, sure, childhood.
You had a very strange childhood.
It was raised around monks, so.
And at first kind of like hesitant, and then clearly kind of like gets into it and is like, all right, everybody, and starts trying to get the crowd to join in.
So let's have
using come drink with me.
Yeah. Let's have you roll. Let's have you roll kind of an overcome to start trying to distract and moderate what's going on here. What are you going to roll that with?
I'm going to roll it with Earth.
Okay.
12 altogether.
So I think your song is echoing through here, and there's something infectious about it. I imagine, Bao, that you are accompanying.
Yes.
On the flute there.
Yes, I found a flute that was by a dead body, so I don't feel bad taking.
Oh, dead body flutes.
Yes.
Had to blow the blood out first, but everything's fine.
It's all good
now. And there is a weird thing of that it's so discordant with the violence that is going on here that in places as you move through, there is kind of a bringing people back to their awareness from this passion that is overcoming them as you make your way up deck to you can see you're headed towards the ceremonial shrine for the wedding there. Let me cut from you to Chin Li. Sodden rope ties up the wound. What do we see the two of you doing then? What are you saying to one another?
I want to know how Sharibo is reacting to this.
On her face is a little flushed, and she's obviously very, very touched. You're taking the time to keep her from bleeding out. Like, I'm sure there's like a nice instrumental theme happening right now.
And then that sort of awkward silence after that.
Yeah, and then I step back and then look at, is it very obvious that there's this like where the energy is being channeled towards?
Yeah, I think now you're hearing the sounds of fighting and violence. You're up on deck and you're hearing like the clash of blades and people screaming and crying out, and all of that is going.
If I can see where, or do I need to study to go to where I feel like my pain was being eaten?
Oh no, I think you can easily follow that if you want to.
I will.
Okay. Do you say anything to Sod and Rope, or do you just take off?
I mean, according to my track record, I definitely just take off.
Sod and Rope. Xin-Li looks around and then, do you follow? What do you do?
I mean, I'm probably used to this. I'm pretty sure like if there was like a prologue, it'd be like this would happen like every other episode in any battle we are taking part of. So I think she just takes a moment to make sure while her arm is useless, but at least not falling off, like make sure the binding is tight enough, and then follows after him.
And we're going to take our second break, take 5, bio break, and then we will bring our characters together.
Excellent.
Okay.
You will hear Tanglan singing this very childhood weird drinking song with Still Heart Bow accompanying on a flute as they're making their way along. And the two of you are you're able to bring some of the order here on the deck, but there's still this fight going on elsewhere. But you will see Xin-Li, there's blood all over Xin-Li, and you're like maybe a little bit startled by that. But then you see just how much blood is on Sod and Rope. She's like her wherever her clothing was a light color, it is all solid red at this point.
Yeah, I think I will only stop playing long enough to go to Xiao Yubo and go, "You okay?"
Her face says no.
Well, do a comfort and support.
Yes, you may.
All right. All right, I'm going to do this with this wood. I think it's sort of patience. You can see, like, clearly Bao has seen a lot of injuries before. Kind of carefully looks at what yours is happening with. Okay, so I'm going to roll 2d6. I'm going to add 1. That gives me a 7.
Okay. So Xiao Yubo, you may either clear that earth, or we can establish that essentially your wound is tended enough that you can use that arm.
I would like to use that arm, please.
Okay, all right. While this is happening, Tanglan, Xin-Li, what are you doing?
So I'm walking closer. Tanglan, are you still singing? like loudly?
Yes, we're singing loudly and childishly. And I'll see you and I'll gesture at you to join in.
I look very confused. And I feel like it's like extra comedic because I have all this like special effects makeup on and I look like super like emo and intense, but then I'm just like, and like I walk closer and I'm just gonna like determinedly not comment on it and say, have you noticed where the energy is going?
It's going into the evil. It was going into the evil sorcerer. I'll break off from singing like midway.
It was going into the evil sorcerer?
Yes. And I'll look to Stillheart Bow, who may still be singing, I don't know, or may have stopped.
I sort of turn when you stop and I go, keep singing, keep singing. And it goes, there's an eviler sorcerer. We're going towards them.
I will nod hesitantly and then keep going in the direction that I was going in.
Okay.
And the four of you will make your way down some of the song and the flute playing, like getting through to some people, but still the sort of the feeling of the ever-present feeling of violence here until you reach this ritual building where the wedding itself, the ceremony was to be held, and you'll push your way past bodies into this hall, and you will see the lanterns lit, and it's beautifully decorated and appointed, and everything in crimson and gold, and lanterns and lights everywhere, and beautiful decorations and banners for all the families here. And you will see towards the front, you will see these figures at sort of facing each other as if bride and groom there. You will see Sharkfinger Princess, and you will see with them is crossing them is Perfect Cloud. And you will see this other figure sort of standing above them. They have this wicker cage that they've set down that is open, and you can see the like energy and the fire and flames that all of that is kind of burning and turning into these butterflies of all shapes and colors and are flying into this cage. The whole air is rich with these things that are flying in there and impossibly filling this cage. And at the sides, kind of ghostly after images, you will see, as you've seen before, sort of other princesses, like you saw the serpent princess and the scorpion princess, and they are kind of out at the sides like other weird spirits, kind of watching but not acting. And you will see that they are in the midst of some kind of magical ceremony here, using this power, binding. What do you do, Sodden Rope, when you see the Sharkfinger Princess?
My eyes like focus on her for a moment, and I like, and there's you hear Onyx Viper's rage rant about not getting her her power, and then I I turn my attention to Perfect Cloud, and the rope burn starts showing on her skin as she bares her teeth and starts charging forward.
And so there's the moment for the other three of you where there's a little bit of hesitation, and then Sodden Rope goes charging forward. Bow, you were closest to Sodden Rope. What do you do?
I think there's that thing of when she goes running, she sort of hits his arm, but he's holding mine. And you see him kind of try to put his hand out. But then it's like as he looks past you bow, he can see that cage. And I think he sort of steps through it, like steps towards it. And there's the shot is like, you can see all of that energy that's like flying into the cage, but you see it through his eyes. So it's like it's flying into his eyes in some ways. And I want to do Eerie Moon and Evil Star, where I study this.
Okay.
Because it gives me some options that might be useful. So I'm going to use water because we are on water.
Okay.
All right. So that's a 7.
That is a 7. So on a 7 to 9, you get to ask a study question about it.
Okay. So I think the first question that I want to ask is, what will happen if I release all that energy?
It depends on how you release it, but that is very dangerous. That is the magical power and rage, this ceremony that has gone, and it is bound up, it is filtered through spirits. It would certainly bring a disruption, but it would be to great cost to whoever broke it. Does that seem like a fair answer?
That sounds like a very fair answer. I will look at Mai and nod at her.
She will nod. Chin Lee, what do you do?
I'm thinking about the move that I took before. Born invincible. To take on the enemy alone. But like honestly, I have too many friends and everyone is always there. And how am I supposed to take on the enemy alone?
If you want to swap that for another move too, take a look at your villain moves. See if there's one that's more appropriate.
No.
Okay.
I'm committed to that.
Fair enough.
That characterization.
I'm okay with not being in the fight. I don't want to be in the way of a power move.
I mean, no, it's fine.
Knock us all out.
Well, and you could take on one of the enemies and defeat them potentially.
One.
That one could be the main one, whichever one that is. I have no idea, in or out of character.
I do think is okay. So the way that you described it, it looked like there were figures like watching this happen, right?
Yes.
But is there anyone who looks like they're controlling the process?
The exorcist figure who has the cage up there, who's kind of standing between Perfect Cloud and the Sharkfinger Princess, you can tell that he is taking this energy to perform some kind of ceremony, something like that. And I think you'll feel it. It's a ceremony of sacrifice. It's a ceremony of anger. And I think there'll be this moment where you will feel how familiar it is to that last battlefield when you were killed, when there was rage and madness on the battlefield. You flash back to that. when you were struck down, and you can tell that this is someone trying to complete what they tried to do with that.
Okay. Oh, I feel like in that case, I will hurl my spear at him.
Okay. So are you trying to take him on alone? Are you trying to get up there before the others to do this? Is this what's happening?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see what Tang Lan is doing, and then let me come back to resolve your move. Tang Lan, you see Soddenrope is rushing up towards Sharkfinger Princess. Steelheart Bao is kind of see him kind of looking, trying to gauge the situation. You see him look down at you, and you probably do see for the first time this ghost child that is by Steelheart Bao.
I'm kind of like, what? When I see the ghost child, and you see, I kind of like double take, and then like, oh yeah, whatever. I'm sort of at a loss for what to do. I've been leading the crowd and singing, and that's not helping. Steelheart Bao seems not quite sure of what to do, and people are rushing around. I'm going to turn back. No. Can I let somebody else go while I
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm still...
Chinley, you fly forward, spear out, and you will see that figure kind of looks down at you, and there's maybe a flicker of doubt there before he concentrates. He can see him, feel him like turn that energy of anger and vengeance and kind of burn it through into you to try and like use that to control you, that power. But I think it is not quite as it should be, because you have not been fully about vengeance. You have stopped and you have healed. So you're going to try and strike this figure down. Right now, at this moment here, as you throw yourself forward to seek redemption, you are on the same scale. Let us have you roll. What do you want to roll? Oh, your style element is earth.
I have a question just about the move.
Yeah.
Am I using that move right now or no?
Yeah, the way I'm going to read it here is that essentially you are drawing this foe, taking on this foe, and keeping this foe away from your friends. You are focused in on that. And because you're willing to sacrifice yourself, this would have been, actually, this is a big bad, so this would have been a figure you would have had to have moved down several levels. I think this is a moment that you will get scale from that.
Okay, cool.
But you have one shot.
One shot.
Okay, I rolled a 6, but plus my earth is 8.
Okay. Do you have any bonds?
I have one bond.
So
not quite.
If you use it, then I can do a comfort and support and immediately turn around and spend it on you. I think.
No, has to do it alone.
Really?
That's the thing. So Chinley, you're going to take this person down, but at what cost? What do we see happen to you?
Okay. So this like energy is like being funneled into me, and like, oh my gosh, I feel like you can kind of, it's clearly very painful. I think it's like this like weird cold but also it's like a cold fire that is like consuming me from the inside. And like it's and I'm just like and like, and you can just kind of see like that energy kind of like licking out of like of my mouth, and then like of my eyes, and then like I think like my skin is starting to like peel off a little bit in places because the energy is just like so strong, and all this like blotchy blackness. um and like the closer I get to him, the more that like my humanity seems to be falling away. But I still keep going forward.
I think you will smash into him. That energy, that spear going through him, and tearing open that cage. And I think that all we see of you and him is this sudden explosion of blue flames. And just there's a shattering, everything fragile, everything perishable around here shatters around, and everyone is knocked backwards. And I think there is no more Chin-Li that we can see. There is just this burning blue pyre. Sodden Rope, kind of all of you stagger back from this. You will see Sharkfinger Princess, like it's been thrown forward. You see her rise up, and you can see her eyes are fully black. Her shark teeth are out. And you can see that she is filled with this rage, and she comes rushing at you. What do you do?
Ooh, I would like to use my move Eternal Love
Okay.
and stop them.
Let's have you roll that.
Okay.
What do you want to roll that with?
With fire, I think, since
Okay.
I unmarked that one.
You don't have to mark it. You just roll
No,
it.
since I had unmarked it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. That gives me a 10.
10.
Yes.
So she comes rushing at you, claws, teeth, black eyes. What happens? What do we see? What is it that, do you grab her? Does she grab you? How do we get to that vision? What do we see?
I think so. It's the Shark Princess running towards Zhao Yubo, and I think it like cuts to like Shark Princess swimming towards Zhao Yubo. So it's like this. It's like the moment they first met, and last time Zhao Yubo was struggling against the ropes that were binding her. But this time, since her arms are free and now working, thanks to Still Heart Bow, Zhao Yubo holds her arms out and embraces Shark Princess as their bodies connect.
That grip, the eyes, both yours and hers, start to turn from black back to human. There's that grip, and I think that both of you will start to kind of collapse to your knees. And Tang, Stillheart, you will hear this cry of just absolute rage, and you will see Perfect Cloud rising up. You'll see he has flames of rage around him. You can see him turning. He's looking at this. This is not what is supposed to be. She is supposed to be killing everyone. She is supposed to be an instrument of vengeance, not this. So he's going to have to take care of it himself. And he is raising his flames up. What do you two do? He is powerful and potent, even with this explosion. Yes, Tang.
I am leaping towards him to emphatically hail on him.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, spoiled meat pie if I ever saw one. Yeah. And I think I kind of go. Well, I actually have half sword will travel.
Okay.
So even though Tang Lan has started running before I do, I actually appear just behind him.
Nice.
And essentially, I think maybe if we attack at the same time, we may be able to adjust the scale a little bit lower.
So Bao, use that. We'll
Okay.
give you a benefit for that. Let's have you roll overcome to draw off to give Tang Lan that chance here. Flames are burning around. You feel the both metaphysical and spiritual and real around in this place on this boat. There's a shot from outside where we can see the flames starting to catch onto the sails and things.
2d6 add 2.
Yes.
12.
12. So what is it you do to draw off this exorcist's focus and his energy to give Tang Lan that shot?
I think that what it is I am an empty vessel. I have the thing of I can't hold fire. And I think that what it is I get behind him, and the thing is he has his sword out. You think he's going to stab him with it, but he doesn't. He actually just holds it like against the back of his shoulders, like grabs his shoulders, but he has his blade there. And you can see the blade start to go red because it's just pulling all of the fire out of this guy. And it's like, the thing that's weird is you see Bao, like he's usually got like really pale skin and stuff. He actually starts to get some color to his face. And, essentially like for the first time, he could feel that fire chi.
Interesting.
Tang Lan, you will have that opening. Go ahead and roll duel.
6 and a 1 plus 2 is 9.
It's a 9. Do you have any bonds?
Yes, and I will happily burn any of them that I can.
The fire is drained out of him. He's held in place. You'll see that Sharkfinger Princess has been, that they are held. That anger is diminishing there. You can see the fires burning where Chin Li was, where this villain was, and this exorcist. He's kind of pinned by what Bao has done. What do you do?
Well, Tang Lan has seen her ghost ripped away, and then sort of Wei Jing she was in love with, and now that's all terribly crushed. And so with all the force of this desolation and anger and sorrow, again leaping forward to let the hail descend from one hand across their body, if possible.
And that with that 10, that strike will strike this figure. And I think all of the matrix of energy and spiritual power that is in this person, the last of it that's trying to hold will erupt, and he will freeze, that heat drawn off from him, and he will shatter. And there is just ice and snow from where he was struck. And I think that we can see the fire burning here in the ship. People are yelling. You can hear rescue parties being organized, people gathering together. Sharkfinger Princess looks at you. Sodden Rope says, "This is my path. This is my destiny. I am called to these places.
So what would you have me do?
Perhaps if you walk with me, we can change what it is I bring to those who call me.
I think Sodden Rope kind of she clutches at her sleeve, and the audience can tell that's where the little jade Buddha was, and she helps the Shark Princess to stand and says, "Where you go, I will follow."
And I think we move to epilogues so that we can see the other half of Born Invincible pay off here in a moment. Tanglan, what is your epilogue here in the immediate aftermath or down the road? What do we see of you?
Well, we see Tanglan kind of gather herself up, look around, and you see her kind of her eyes pause again on where Chin Li perished, and then you just see her kind of resignedly you see her kind of straighten out her garments and kind of sheathe her sticks and start walking as though kind of like to hit the road again. And of course, grabbing a few handfuls of food from a table and shoving them in her pockets as she goes, ready to hit the road. And then you kind of see her back again in her solitary monster huntery existence.
But Chin Li, did you survive? Was it a twist of fate that survived, or did you go to the underworld and were sent back? What is it that we see for you in the aftermath?
I think there was that explosion of flames, and before all the negative energy were in the form of butterflies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Were being funneled into that cage. So I think you see one of those butterflies fluttering in the air, and it's kind of going into this field, and then a hand grabs it and crushes it, and then you see it kind of the camera moves down the arm, up the arm, and then until there's a face reveal, and it is it's that the sorcerer guy. What is his name again? Don't remember anyone's names.
Sorry.
Oh no, it's fine.
Perfect Cloud?
Perfect. Or
the guy who was controlling.
Oh, Monarch of Stone was the sort of exorcist.
Yeah, that guy. So it's him. And then and as it as the little bit of the negative energy kind of just kind of blows away in the wind, you see on his back is Chin Li's spear, and then there's just that 1 second when that black veining just stretches across his face before the screen goes to black.
Nice. Still heart bow.
I think you come in and it's still heart bow, and he's kind of clearly maybe still on the boat. It's weird because you can hear the water and you can kind of see the light streaming in from a window, and he's kind of looking outside. Then you see him sort of look down, and it's Captain Fang who's like laying there, and he's like all bandaged up and stuff. And I'm like, oh, good, you're finally awake. And essentially he's sitting there. You see Mai sitting next to him, waiting, very bored. And I say, I'm glad you're still alive. What happened?
And you see this look of, I have no idea what just occurred. Like he goes full himbo. Like it was a fun, good. Oh, yeah, you know.
Mm-hmm. I'm like, just get some sleep, and I'll just lean back into my chair.
And Shalubo, Sodden Rope, what is your epilogue?
I think it cuts to Sodden Rope and the Shark Finger Princess holding hands as they walk the battlefield where Hui Jing and his men fell, and Sodden Rope stops where the audience knows that Hui Jing fell, and she kind of like moves her hand along the ground there, and Shark Princess kind of like kneels in front of her, and they both go, their eyes turn black, and their teeth show, and they both start like wailing, like in a very mournful kind of way. So and it sounds kind of like that spooky, like two voice, where one sounds like more guttural, and that's the shark talking, and like the heaviness of the area just kind of like dissipates.
I imagine maybe we see some butterflies in the distance there as they're taken by the sound of that, just to kind of echo that visual motif. And the camera pulls away. We got a nice drone shot of that as we pull away. And that's our episode. That's our movie. That's our show. Thank you all very much for coming back after the break here, so we could finish off these stories. I would like to do just a quick once around to, if you have anything you want to throw out as stars or anything that you want to hit on. Kat, let's do this sort of same order we just did. Anything that you want to give a shout out to?
I just thought this was all so much fun. This is just a great game to play, and I love the different ways people go, and this the sort of the overtopness of it all, and it's a delight.
Awesome. I'm actually running Passiones this weekend too, so this is good. Fodder for me to get into that mood. Agatha, anything you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I want to give a star to everyone for just indulging in my main character syndrome. Thank you for letting me go and take and just have my like, oh, sacrifice myself moment. That was very emotionally satisfying for me. So thank you all. I appreciate that.
Awesome. I'm glad we got you. I have my notes from last time. I want to kill someone is what I have as your wishes from last time. Okay, I'll see if I can get that. Sherry.
I loved each of these characters. It was so fun to watch when I wasn't playing, and to play along when I was in the scenes. Just fabulous, and I will forever be a Chin-Li stan. Really, so good. My favorite main character yet. So really good. But yeah, I enjoyed like being slightly useful, comic relief on occasion. So that was good. Thanks.
And Sodden Rope.
This was so much fun. I haven't played this game in a while, so it was a nice callback. Everyone was wonderful. It was a perfect balance of angst and laughter. I apologize for my character's somberness, but
It's great.
It's good.
And thank you for indulging my I heart shark.
Yeah, I actually want to put that in as a star for me. Like right at the start, you were like, I really want to interact and do stuff with the Sharkfinger Princess, and that was great. Like you bringing that onto the table as a detail, making that really central was super fun. It was great material to work with. So thank you, everybody. I had a great time. It was a delight to run. I appreciate this group. And I hope to play with you all again. And I'm going to stop the recording.